Hi, my name is Nathan, and today we're going to do a comic book review of The Closet, issue number 2, brought to you by Rated Comics. Let's get to it. We begin this issue with Thom and his son Jamie on this road trip going to their friend's house. Notice how his wife Maggie is not there with them, but that's going to be explained later. They're moving across country to Portland from New York. Why? It wasn't really explained why. It was just a big move that it just seemed Thom wanted to do or that they were going to do. So, but on their way there, they decide to camp out and stay with their friend Mac's house, or Thom's friend Mac. So he welcomes them and greets him, and we get to notice more of Thom's flaws. Remember in issue number 1, when his wife Maggie sent him on a trip just to get some packing tape, right? But he came back with painter's tape, and on top of that, he went to the bar, down a few beers in between, just kind of like showing a little bit of this man's flaws, and obviously not execute the delivery of the unicorn piss, right? You gotta check out issue number 1 for that, because without context, it's not making any sense. So when they get to his friend's Mac house, obviously Mac's like, yo man, I got a bedroom for your kid, come on in. And by the way, does he have like clothes or toothbrush or something? Oh man, like I'm in the middle of nowhere, we gotta make a Walmart run. But Thom's like, you know what, buddy, just sleep in my shirt, it's all good, we're just gonna get on the road, we had a long road trip, just go to bed, we'll get on tomorrow. So inside the house, they play Legos, they, eat some chili. Thom and his friend Mac do some catching up and talking. And after playing Legos for a minute, and obviously Thom and Jamie catching up, which their conversation is cool, it's really setting up their rapport and their connection with one another, and they haven't connected in a long time, so they're just catching up all the time. It's kind of like old friends from college, old friends from high school, when you haven't talked to each other for years, but when you talk to each other or reconnect after that time gap, you never miss a beat. You're just picking up where you left off. It's just life, man. So Jamie gets tired, goes to bed. Thom puts to bed, and Jamie's like, I'm scared because of what happened in issue number 1. Turns out in the car ride, Thom yelled at his son for being scared of a freaking monster in the closet. I get it, as a parent, sometimes your kids just get, tick you off a little bit. But what if that monster was real and Thom doesn't even realize that? And what is the symbolism of that monster too? So Thom tells him, hey buddy, it's okay, just go to bed. But you promise you'll stay here with me. You said you could sleep with me every night, right? And he's like, yeah, I'll be here, I promise. But it's been a long day, and I haven't seen Mac in a long time. I'm just going to stay out and talk to him for a little bit, but I'll come back to bed. You promise, says Jamie? Yeah, I promise. So he gives him a kiss, sleep tight, turns off the light, and this closet, whatever the freak dimension appears from, just magically appears up top. Now, the real meat and potatoes of this book is Thom and his friend Mac conversation, and it's just highlighting all of Thom's flaws. Like, you yelled at your son about a freaking monster in the closet. Yeah, the thing is, back in New York, we had a closet. Where we're going, we're not gonna have a closet, so he doesn't need to worry about that. And this move stresses me out, man. It's just been really messed up about all this. We got a beautiful house, we're doing all this. I just want him to see that we're leaving all this behind in New York for a better life. I don't want him to be scared of a freaking stupid monster in the closet, because he remembers being scared of an old closet hundreds of miles away. He can't be scared of a new closet that we're moving to now. New beginnings, bro. And Mac's like, dude, your kid is 4 years old. They're gonna get scared of monsters. That's just the way it goes, man. So Mac asks him, is this moving thing specific, or you're just a freaking moving disaster? Well, I'm a general, I'm a moving disaster, says Thom. But he says it sarcastically, and Mac looks at him like, you're acting like I'm joking. I'm not joking. Let me highlight it for you. Really, man? You gonna joke about that like that? Really? We don't talk anymore, so their conversation is showing a lot more flaws with Thom's character. Like, why isn't Maggie here? Well, she needed to get there early to do her new orientation at her new agency. So why aren't you there with her, Thom? Well, I always want to do this move, and I always want to do this road trip, and she didn't want to do it with me. I tried to talk her into it, but she didn't listen. And in theory, as a dude, that sounds like a good idea to do a road trip with your family and a move, do a little vacation, explore new things together. But did Thom really convince her hard enough to come to this road trip with him? Or was this an excuse to get away from her, says Mac. And Thom is like, dude, what are you tripping about? What are you alluding to? Like you're really messing it up, Thom. You didn't try hard enough to convince her to go on this road trip. Not to mention, your wife, Maggie, was a real saint how she handled that bullshit with Megan. Alluding to Thom's infidelity. Like, come on, dude. But let it sink in. What the hell do you mean? Let it sink in. I think you're mad, Thom, that she didn't leave you. And it'll be easier if she left you and took Jamie, went the other end of the world, so you could blame her for not trying to fix things. But instead of knowing that it's on you to make things better, and knowing that you don't really want to try. Come on, man. Like I said, you don't call me anymore. You're being elusive. You just want to be alone, isolated. There's a lot of flaws with you, man. Why? I don't know, but you got your own shit to work out, and before you start picking on me on shit, you know? And the thing is, you got a smart, beautiful, forgiving wife and a sweet kid, and you got money in the bank account. You've got a good life. You got to get over yourself. Dude, you're blowing this way out of proportions this time. But there's a lot more dialogue to this, and I'm just going to save some meat on the bone. Now, you guys are watching this video. You guys are watching this video because get to the freaking monster in the closet by now, right? I will. That's what this book is about. But also, you got to understand that I think there's some parallel here with Thom's, character flaw and this monster. Is there some kind of symbolism or connection to that? So while Jamie's asleep, he notices the closet door appearing up on the ceiling. He opens his eyes wide, scared. The koala's just looking like, bro, what are you gonna do about it? And the koala has to be used as a sacrificial lamb because when the monster comes down from that closet in the ceiling from whatever dimension it came from, he throws the koala back at the monster, and the monster's like, yo, it's just a koala. You gotta come at me with a bear or something, or a kitty cat. Meow. So Jamie runs, and humor aside, Jamie runs, and as a 4 or 5-year-old kid, I would be freaked to freak out if I saw that shit in my room, dark and alone. Think about it when you watch that bullshit movies or those scary movies as a kid. For me, it was it. 1990s with I can't think of his name right now, but the 1990s It movie, I just cannot think of that other's name. But that clown movie messed me up for life with clowns. When my kids want clowns at a birthday party, no, we ain't having it. We might do koala. So he runs out the house, begs, and you ever notice those are those dreams or nightmares that you have when you try to talk, you can't talk? That's what Jamie's going through right now. He's mute, he's blank, he can't say shit. So he covers his mouth, screams, desperation, tears at his eyes while the monster's coming back from behind him. Help me, Dad, help me! And he can't do it. Tears of desperation flow through as his dad and Mac continue to finish off their conversation like, dude, you are a messed up POS, Thom, you know that, right? Well, get some sleep. You got a long road trip tomorrow. And just to keep you in line, I will visit you in Portland just to keep your ass in line from time to time. But back to the story. We end this issue with, yeah, we do got a long road trip tomorrow, but the monster drags Jamie back into the room as he screams and claws and begs to not go back in there alone with that monster. And that's where we end this issue. Obviously, I left some meat on the bone because there's a lot of dialogue that I believe has parallels with this monster that I just don't want to go into because obviously I read this book because of the closet, because of the monster in the closet, and obviously it's James Tynion as a writer, which is one of my favorite indie comic book writers or favorite comic book writers to go with it. So because of that, yes, I believe there's some parallels. At first I was like, what all this is going on? Rereading it again, okay, there's got to be some kind of parallels. I'm looking forward to the epic conclusion, which I believe will be epic in issue number 3. So link in description if you wish to add this comic book to your comic book collection. With that being said, The Closet, issue number 2. What you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know. And also, if you like the content we're throwing up, you know what to do. Don't be shy and don't be stingy. Here at Rated Comics, we do awesome comic book reviews, comic book related content with the occasional comic book giveaway. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.